Um, Hello, I'd like to welcome all to a little game called Towns. I don't know why I'm making this video. I really just like towns, and I want to show that I like towns, because I like Dwarf Fortress. Towns, if you're curious, is a game that's like Dwarf Fortress. Essentially, you have a map, and on that map are resources. In this game, let me get this out of the way quickly. It's a lot less deep than Dwarf Fortress. So if you like Dwarf Fortress, but you were like, oh man, look at all of these resources. There's fancy kinds of look at this. There's hematite, which is the ore that contains metal iron. And you're all like, oh man, that's way too deep for me. I'm sure you'll love this game. Aww. But it's essentially the same game. You have... It took you long enough. You have building stuff. Although unlike Dwarf Fortress, it's really more about building a town instead of building a fortress carved into a mountain. There's a lot less surface ores. It's the dungeon crawler man's, it's the simple man's, it's the working man's Dwarf Fortress. If you don't want to spend hours upon hours learning all of the ores and the minerals and the veins, all the real-life mumbo-jumbo of native platinum and hematites and zirconians, then this is really a great game. It's nice and simple, it has a much more platonic and understandable combat system, and it's really a blast to play. Seeing your little townies going around at the speed of sound, picking up resources, building all sorts of magic mumbo-jumbo, like this lovely dining room, with lovely candles and 2 spare seats. I still need to work on my crafting storage, though, because this is just something I threw together for time being. Oh, look at this. This is way more sophisticated. Wow, those armor cabinets take like 10 seconds to stuff up. But look at this. Unlike Dwarf Fortress, where it's like, oh man, all these buttons are confusing me. Whatever shall I do? Press A? Press B? No, here you just look at this. It's a very understandable user interface, full of graphics. And look, this one is full of numbers that let you basically always have 5. Or you can just say, well, I'm going to order 1 more bucket, because I know I'm going to need that extra bucket. And you immediately know how much you have of everything. You can click this! And now you know everything of everything you have. Don't know what this is? Well, you will soon enough. You'll know you have one. And look, I have 2 sip swans. That's fantastic. And now you can organize. It's really fun. It's really simple, too. If Dwarf Fortress was like, it's so complex, then you shouldn't get that. You should get this. It costs a bit of money. It's not free. But it's fun. I always have sieges turned off, which comes default with the game. There's no lengthy world gen process. There's flashy graphics, which look really fun. There's heroes, which will basically eat your food, and they don't do anything. You can't tell them to do things. They'll just sort of lumber around, and they'll be assholes, and they'll take your food, and they'll take your loot, and they'll just generally be very, very annoying. But heroes, they tend to fight more. They are exploratorians. And this, in case you're curious, you won't have this. Because this is mine. This game has a system. In Dwarf Fortress, you could abandon a fortress. And when you did that, essentially your fortress was turned into... You could go back. You could load the world, you could go back. All your stuff was everywhere, and everyone was dead, or mad, or... I don't know, on fire. But here, your town is turned into this sort of blueprint. And... Did I have bone beds? I don't think I had bone... maybe I did. Because they were on, yeah, these were probably made when they were on sale. Here you can see, this is the original bone candle. And this is a decayed version, which is off. And look, this bone bed looks super spooky, but this one's normal. Yay! But look further. This is where my carpentry station used to be. And this is where my forge was. And this is where I stored my furniture. And look at this, look at my smithy. It's still completely, oh, that's so cool. And all you have to do is press bury the town, and then when you make a new map, you can just say, hey, how about you give me that town? Yeah, it's really cool. I really like this game. It's a lot more understandable. I feel like saying this is the simple man's Dwarf Fortress is an insult, but it's not. Dwarf Fortress is massive. It's difficult to understand. There's random diseases and monsters and complications, and while Dwarf Fortress is really a game that you're like, yeah, I beat your ass! And it feels amazing. It is a lot to get your head around. I'm really good with learning. But even I still have a bit... I don't play Dwarf Fortress all that much, but the one time I played it, I was like, this is fun. And I like the building part. And I like... But it just never stops. But in this game, you can stop. People won't immigrate if you don't have the rooms to accommodate them. Heroes come depending on how many people you have. You can have soldiers, which you can give patrol points, or you can tell them to say, hey, how you doing? Oh man, I love this bridge. It's so fancy looking. Look at how fancy that bridge is. It's like whoop-de-shoopy-doop. Should get rid of these scaffolds, though. Oh, look at this. And I got my banana farm. Look at that. Do you know what a banana farm looks like in Dwarf Fortress? Definitely not as... Well, you have Stone Sense. I use Stone Sense, but then I had a bad computer and was like, oh. But I like Stone Sense. Stone Sense is the coolio. And essentially, if you're like, man, this game is fun, but I want something more complicated, there is a game for you. And it comes free with this game because it's free. So really, either you have... Look at this. You have cactus fruits, you have little bamboozles. You have Scootin' Beatin'. Which game has Scootin' Beatin'? I don't know many games that have Scootin' Beatin'. They come all the way from the jungle, but they were like, Hum-to-dum, gonna migrate into your town, gonna get in the way, gonna step on this grass, yeah. And he's talking to that piggy pig. Damn you, Scootin' Beatin'. Why is your name so perfectly refined for Rapmaster 2000? A little sheep. Man, so fun. Look at this. Look at what you got. You got gold weapons. You got a golden staff. Ooh, you got a golden bow. Ooh. Look what my soldier's got. He got a fire bow. And he's got a hat of the Hulk. The herbalist. Oh yeah, that guy summons these little minions which will follow him around. This is a tank. This is an explodey dude, which is pretty cool. They also form friendships, which means that they'll help each other out in the middle of a dungeon. This person took my silver bow. I still want to kill her for that one, but I don't think I can kill a level 40. Oh man, he maxed out. Because once they're 50, I think they stop leveling up, or they level up really slowly. It's one of the two. But look at this. Look at how good she is. Oh look, she's exploring with one of her friends. Look at this. Friend. Landa. Oh, look at that. The friends, they're the buddies. They're like, oh man, if you get in trouble, I'll help you out. They got mines, which are these things. Essentially, sometimes a villager comes over and grabs a copper out of it. It's really cool. It's such a fun game. I love playing this game. It has one track. It will get on your nerves if you listen to it. But if you let it mellow in the background, it's just fine. And you'll sound cool doing it. They're done? Really? It's like a whole chunk of black. And I don't think we're back to black 6 when it comes to back to basics. I always like just randomly digging through these little walls. Because I always are like, maybe they're a shortcut, maybe they're a shortcut, maybe they're not, maybe they're not. But if they are, yay! But if they're not, aww. But hey, lots of stone. Just look at this game. Unlike Dwarf Fortress, you can plant trees, which is so fun. No problems getting water on your grass. But this game is also still in development. There will be updates. Things will change. New interesting mechanics and new interesting things. Oh, man. And unlike Dwarf Fortress, a lot better and faster development cycle. So there's that. Look at this. They got little cactus trees. Guess what I can do with that? Now this is, look at this. Like a gathering, like, oh man, I always want to have a 10 raw fish. But then, my friends, the magic happens and I turn them into cooked fish. Oh, look at that. I do like my fish sticks and fish fingers, mind you. I'm not too interested into meat, though. While I do like the construct of having leather armor, because it doesn't have the movement penalty that regular breastplates do. I don't know. I have a goblin knight? Wait, who's not? Oh yeah, he's wearing of the dragon. I wear the armor of the dragon. But I don't want it, because he gets like a lot of extra attack, and he gets health, and he gets damage. Or should I say she, because Muriel Beauvalet is my... I think were these people French or something? I don't think they're English, because that's why they all have these fancy names, like Julie Moussetin. Julie Moussetin is a nice name. Bohug. I'm from that land you call Pay-By, or something? You know what I'm saying. You Frenchies know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I love being annoying. Especially when I'm having fun. But I guess that's the premise. Yay! Let's see. Do I have enough... Look at that! I immediately know how much stone I have. And I know that I have buckets and buckets of spiderite just clogging up the works. You also have this thing, a burner. There's never a reason to burn wood or mud, because you can turn mud into glass and wood into lots of stuff. And bones, well, I guess you can use bones for decorations and beds, so you can... these are like the last things you'd want to burn. You know what I do want to burn? All this spiderite, because I can't sell it to merchants. I'm just stuck with this stuff forever. Thank you. Je ne sais quoi. Oh man, look at that hero. She's hanging out at the market. You're trying to steal another one of my black silver bows? Put up them dukes, boy. If I remember correctly, black equipment gives... typically lowers things, so they're actually a lot worse. But the silver bows are still insanely powerful. So they hold up, even when they're black. Yeah, look at that. It's not even supposed to have that load of damage, but it just does, because it's kick-ass. Because it's like, I'd listen to your rules. Because I do what I want. Which is being a very fanciful bow. It also gives 100 health, wow. For a ranger, that's pretty... Okay, so heroes will pick up the best armor that they find lying on the ground. They will not interact with this or this. It has to be on the floor, which is kind of annoying because it makes it really difficult to force them to pick things up. However, you can just make, near your local shop, a little teeny tiny stockpile and say, on this teeny tiny stockpile, I want only plate bringers. And you do that like this. Bazoom! Now, every spiderite bow that I can't store in one of these goes in this. I don't know if there's a priority system, but whatever. And if I want to get rid of it, boom! Never existed. You can do that with individual cabinets and say, I only want the fanciest of the spiderite swords in this one. And you're done. Or maybe you're like, I don't want any spiderite. Bam! No more spiderite. I should do that with these chests. But that's a whole lot of chests. And I don't want to get RSI. Elven Bee. Okay, that's fun, by the way. Spiderite bows and normal wooden bows actually can only be fired up to 100 times before they run out. Which is why I don't use bows. But that's really all I want to show. This game is available on Steam. They probably also have a website somewhere, someplace, sometime. You should check it out. It's really fun. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. But you might be like, let me just lay this out for you. There's a tutorial which teaches you some of the basics. It's nothing complex. It just teaches you how to do the basic stuff. You have normal map, which typically is just grass with a little bit of jungle. Desert, which is the biggest problem with desert is I don't know the monsters. I'd say because in the desert you can find cactus fruit. I guess food would be a problem to a degree. No, it wouldn't be a problem because there is. I think deserts have blue. I think deserts. Yeah, they might have. But if you don't have it immediately, You know what you can always... Yeah, it has these little patches, and there's probably some wheat. And if there isn't wheat, you can always just wait for a caravan, buy some wheat, and then slap it on down. Or, if you're feeling particularly frisky, you could just go with chickens, I guess. I guess there's always that. Man, I remember the city where I had, like, surface iron. Yeah, another problem is these guys. Yeah, this is a... Yeah. That is stats in 1,000. Let's look at my... Oh. Yeah, he already killed one of my guys, and that was just one of them. No, it's not gonna... Yo, it's not gonna work. Jungle. Really hard. There are toadies, froggies. There are these weird flying people that I forgot who they are, which are really annoying. What are they called? Bernies? Derpies? Brownies! That's what they were. Yeah, they are. These are brownies. They're not particularly powerful. And they actually give you all these defenses you can build with, I guess. But here's the problem. There's a whole lot of froggies and toadies, and a whole lot of brownies. One is on a plane, apparently. And yeah, I'm fucked. I lost 3 people. 4. So yeah, really exciting. Mixed is a whole bunch of everything. Snow. You have little patches of grass in which you will typically find bamboo, sugarcane, wheat. So you can still go with that. You can also use snow cherry, which is not that hard to find. There's lots of trees. The biggest problem with snow is the Yetis. Let me just show up a Yeti. Blah. Let's call the map F. Yetis are assholes. You want to avoid them, and unlike brownies, you can't like the banana. The jungle has the benefit of bananas. Like in jungles, bananas are really good food, as are radishes. Get some wheat or some bread. You can make. Oh wait, can you? I'm not gonna have to check that out. But banana bread is one of the best foods in the game, and it takes a bread and a banana. That's a flour and a banana. It's an extra step away from getting the banana pie, but that is 50 extra percentages. And it's pretty good. It's like, man, those guys don't have to eat for 8 hours. Anyway, there's these little patches. You can find sugarcane, bamboo. But a quick tip. Here's a quick tip. In case you're really struggling, bamboo can be made into bamboo spears. These are really good beginner weapons. And never shy away from making wooden equipment, because this is really easy to make, and you need it. You need it. If you can also go for some woolen armor by butchering a few. Look at this, we even get apples and pears. Yeah. Like snow, the biggest problem is... Where's one of those Yetis? Did they lower the... No, there he is. This is a Yeti. He has very little problem punching a villager to pulp. And because everything's so spread out, your villagers will be spread out, and they'll be beaten to a bloody pulp. Unless you know exactly how to keep them together. I guess it's like the typical Dwarf Fortress challenges. Like, man, you gotta focus. Mountains. I don't know about mountains. Let's actually take a look at a mixed map, too. And a jungle map, and then we're done. It's just a jungle map, you know, for the sake of seeing it all. So yeah, you should get this game. It's really fun. It's really... You'll make a mistake if you're doing it with... This is a mixed map, right? Yeah, look at this. You get... Oh man, that's pretty cool. Like, you could grow everything on this map. Yeah, you could grow just about everything on this map. You got some jungle here, and some scootin' beaten. And some water for some reason. You got some scootin' beaten. So it's a good thing. Lots of trees. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. If you can push past the... Yeah, you can get some cave mushrooms even. That's pretty neat. If you can push past the I think... Are there any brownies? Yeah, there's probably brownies. Like a few of them. But if you can push past that, and past the... Particularly if you can push past the Yetis, this is a really good map. Like, you have access to just about everything. You might have a bit of a problem using... Yeah, there's no cacti here, are there? No cacti. That might have just been the spawner being silly. But I can still buy some cactus fruit and plant some on my own. You know. Like Scootin' Beatin'. Sorry. You can also buy caged animals from certain... Which is really good. Wait, I just... Oh, this was a mountain map. I'm being silly beans, McSpazitron. So mountains is really good. I must have gotten the shittiest mountain map of them all. Yeah, I definitely got the shittiest mountain map with my first try. This is really... Yeah, look at that. Ungrown surface dirt. But this is good, because you will need a lot of dirt to make fancy glass, and lots of stone to make fancy stone. And this game is pretty fast. Look at this. Going zoom, zoom, but I do have a fast computer. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. If anyone finds out, you didn't hear it. That is the weirdest way to phrase it. But let's move on. This is mixed, which literally just dumps a fleck of snow. By the way, if you're curious, you can use flint to make a cooking fire. What is cooking fire? I think cooking fire is used to make meats. Yeah, you can use cooking fire to make all these things, which is pretty good. Look at that. That's a lot of filling for something that only takes fire. But here's a problem. It does take wood, and if the thing goes out, you need some flint too. But if you can keep the wood, which again can just be done by clicking one of these after planting some. These are always planted, by the way. They will not automatically harvest anything but pre-planted, so remember that. Look, now we get some cactus plant. We get a nice skirt of jungle. This is a really nice map. Oh, look, we even got some brownies. Great. Fuck them. Just shove it up your bum. I'm thinking, let's end off with looking at another one of those jungle maps. With one of them jumba juices. Oh man. Planet Explorers is really moving away from what I want. Or maybe I'm just not playing enough. Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any grass, which is... Wow. This is a horrible spawn. I do like the whole generating houses thing, though. It's pretty neat. Yeah, there's no grass. At all. Which means that you can't grow any wheat. Which, in case you're curious, is really, really bad. Because wheat is kind of the basic. But hey, free coal. Anyway, I'll see you guys in whatever video comes next. I might be doing Borderlands or any of the other series I have going. You should check this game out on Steam. If it has piqued your interest so far, you will not be disappointed, because this is really fun. If you actually get into it and play it yourself. Like, watching someone else play is, for a short time, interesting. But you should play it yourself and get it on Steam. Because it's great. It's fun, it's exciting. It's interesting to use things like traps to hold off siege and be like, no, I twirl my mustache at you, dear compadre. Oh, look at that twirly mustache. Really? You'd think that these plants, which you have to directly harvest from nature, would grow in... Nah, they probably just grow in grass. But at least there's plenty of bananas. And gravel. So I could just stuff myself with cooked bananas. 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 Really? Really? A jungle salad is just banana and blue radish. And a baker's table. That is nuts. That is the standard definition. That is 90% for a banana and a blue radish. That is nuts. That is just the standard definition of free-to-play, pay-to-win standards. Or something. Get it now. Bye!